is 2:03. Let's go ahead and get started. Like I've said, welcome to our 6th webinar series for our Net Plus overview. Today, we're going to be talking about Net Plus AWS, Net Plus GCP, Net Plus Kion, and our CICP program. So let's go ahead and get into the logistics. And before that, I want to introduce myself as your ghostess with the mostest. And I'll have to credit that joke to Bob Flynn. My name is Jenna Malberg. I'm an associate program manager here at Internet2. I've been running the Net Plus webinar series with our Net Plus division team. I've done a few webinars myself, but like I said, I'm just your ghostess with the mostest today. So note that your participants' microphones and videos are all turned off, but feel free to use our chat or Q&A. All of our questions will be answered at the end, but feel free to drop them in the chat just so we can see what we can answer in the meantime through text message. So today's session will be recorded and made available on our YouTube channel and our blog post, and they'll also go out to each of our mailing list. So let's go ahead and get to what we'll cover. What we'll cover is our who, so our company, what they do, the overview of that, what is the program that we're going to be talking about today, the benefits, the eligibility, why and how, why you should be super excited to learn about these programs, get to know these programs, and collaborate these programs, and a Q&A. So heading into the next slide, we have some speakers in the audience that will be promoted to panelists later on to help answer questions. So we have Jan from AWS, Chris from Google Cloud, and Mes from Kion. So thanks everyone for being here today. I'm going to hand it off and introduce our first speaker, Nidhi.
Thank you, Jenna. Hello, everyone. I'm Nidhi Yadav, Associate Program Manager for Cloud Infrastructure, Platform, and Security Services. I joined the Internet2 Net Plus team in August 2023. Prior to that, I completed my Master of Science in Information Management from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. And before that, I worked in the IT sector for 3+ years, which has equipped me with some of the skills that I leverage in my current position. I am based in Champaign, Illinois. And one of my passions is working on projects that deliver real value to users. And I believe that my current role provides lots of opportunities to do just that. And if you would like to connect, I can be reached at nyadav@internet2.edu. Moving on, let's dive into Net Plus Kion with first taking a look at what is Kion. It is a comprehensive platform designed to support your institution's research efforts, enhance the student experience, and secure your multi-cloud infrastructures across cloud service providers like AWS, Azure, GCP, and OCI. Now, let's take a look at some of the cloud ops challenges faced in higher education across regulated research, central IT, and academics. Jenna, could you go back to the previous slide? Yeah, thank you. First, cloud account sprawl. It represents a significant governance challenge. Organizations commonly find themselves managing hundreds of accounts through basic spreadsheets, lacking proper policies and control frameworks. Second, overprivileged cloud access. Either it's entirely manual or identity providers are configured to grant uniform privileges across all users, creating security vulnerabilities. Third, uncontrolled cloud spend. It often lacks accountability. Individual teams operate independently with their cloud resources, making cost management difficult. Fourth, ineffective existing tools. Many find and fix tools generate thousands of remediation items, ultimately creating more work rather than solving core problems. And finally, time management issues for cloud ops teams. They face cycles of low-level reactive tasks, preventing them from to cloud management, which is where Kion comes in. Next slide, please. Now let's see how Kion transforms cloud ops. First, let's talk about visibility. In today's complex cloud environments, Kion provides a comprehensive, centralized view of your entire cloud ecosystem, eliminating the need to switch between multiple tools or platforms. Next is automation. Kion automates the routine tasks and critical processes. It not only enforces established guardrails, but actively monitors and remediates any drift, ensuring continuous compliance and security. Third, Kion acts as your strategic advisor through its guidance capabilities. It delivers personalized recommendations to help teams optimize their cloud ops practices. Finally, Kion's guardrails provide robust security controls. It sets controls that define what accounts and roles can or can't do. To summarize, visibility, automation, guidance, and guardrails in Kion create a comprehensive solution for cloud operations management. Next. Next slide, please. Thank you, Jenna. Next, I would like to highlight what the Net Plus Kion program offers. The program is specifically designed for research and higher education institutions and provides the community the following 3 essential capabilities for managing their multi-cloud environments. First, automation and orchestration to streamline workflows and optimize resource management. Second is FinOps. Kion makes it easy to set and enforce budgets, get current spend insight, and identify cost optimization opportunities. Third, continuous compliance to ensure that organizations meet regulatory standards across multi-cloud environments. And lastly, it integrates smoothly with some of the widely used existing tools and systems through robust APIs. Next slide. Now, the key benefits and eligibility requirements for the Net Plus Kion program. Subscribers enjoy significant discounts of 20 to 50% off AWS marketplace rates based on annual usage. Annual price increase is capped at 5%. It is FERPA and HIPAA compliant. Access to HECWET and VPAT documentation is available upon request, along with documentation for the Net Plus service evaluation that Kion underwent. Another key advantage is the community engagement aspect. Subscribers can engage with each other as part of the Net Plus Kion early adopters group to share insights, best practices, and challenges with the product. Currently, there are 15 subscribers of this program, which launched in 2022. As for eligibility, the program welcomes Internet to higher education members and affiliates, US nonprofit higher education institutions, K-12 schools, libraries and museums, and other US nonprofits with educational or research missions subject to Internet 2's review. Moving on. Next slide, please. Here is a list of Net Plus Kion early adopters who meet on a monthly basis to discuss their usage and challenges with the service. Next slide, please. Lastly, a look at the resources available. If you're just getting started, you can explore the platform at your own pace with the self-guided tour, watch helpful tutorial videos, or dive into detailed support pages. Want to see how others are using Kion? Check out their blog posts and case studies, or visit our Net Plus Kion wiki and webpage for community insights. We also have the early adopter calls where subscribers connect with peers and share experiences. It's a great way to learn from others in the community. Lastly, please don't hesitate to reach out to netplus@internet2.edu for any pricing details or other queries about the program. We are here to help you make the most of your Kion journey. That's all for Net Plus Kion. Thank you all for your attention. I will now hand it over to Bob.
As soon as Bob can figure out where to unmute while sharing his screen. Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Flynn, the Program Manager for Cloud Infrastructure and Platform Services at Internet2. I've been here at Internet2 since early 2021. Prior to that, I spent almost 25 years actually, at Indiana University. I'm still in Bloomington, and for those who know me, I am really passionate about sharing the value of cloud technology and hyperscale technologies across the research and education community. And I have to say, there's a little bit of keeping up with the Joneses going on here. My colleague Lauren did her presentation a couple of weeks ago, showed her dogs. So I've got to follow suit. And so if I can get the slides to advance, there's my dog Luxa after having ripped apart a pillow, and our cat Frog in her usual position. All right, let's talk about Net Plus AWS. So how do you describe something as massive as one of the hyperscale cloud service providers in a single slide? My hat's off to Jan Day, my colleague at AWS, for helping me come up with something. So here is a minor overview of the way that AWS is interacting and working with higher ed. So I'm just going to call out a couple of things in particular. The virtual campus assistant here listed represents a number of AI projects going on. And we'll talk more about this in a little bit, but one of those is the Amplify AI project at Vanderbilt University, a group that we have showcased in the Net Plus AWS program, and that we're going to be doing a barn raising event with next month, where we will be building out the the Amplify AI stack in individual environments. It's that kind of hands-on collaborative interaction that characterizes this program. Another example I wanted to highlight is around data access and storage research, storage for research. That is a project that we just learned about yesterday coming out of UC Irvine, that a professor worked with AWS on a solution to easily push storage up to AWS storage for a long-term archive. And that's another project we're looking at, helping others build out in their own environments. I just raised those as two examples. We'll see several more here as we go along. So talking about specifically the Net Plus AWS service now. So the Net Plus AWS program has been around for about a decade, and we currently have two different contracts that give options to the community. Recently, we signed a second with 4 Points Technology. The original was with DLT, now TD Synnex. And these provide a wide variety of options around what support model works best for you, how you want to do your billing data access, training, control of your organizations, access to business associates agreements, strides, so much more. So you have options in the program depending on what your priorities are. There's a link here in the slides to an operational comparison of those contract options, so you can see side by side how the two compare. I do want to talk specifically about some of the benefits. Of course, people are often interested in the discounts and things like that, but I want to highlight some others here specifically on the screen. So as I mentioned, the contract that we just signed this year with 4 Points Technology to make available to you was competitively bid. It was based on a needs analysis and requests from the community, and we're really pleased with the outcome of that. Both agreements give you the ability to enable account support on an account-by-account basis. Oftentimes there are accounts that don't really need a support plan. They might just be backup, that sort of thing. So you have that ability in these contracts to do that. You can also, through either of the programs, take advantage of either a single bill for your institution if you want to rebill internally, or direct billing to individual account holders if you don't have that internal rebilling capability. These are just a few of the many benefits of this agreement, and I wanted to highlight those. And then just a quick note on eligibility. This is really important. You do not have to be an Internet 2 member to take advantage of the Net Plus AWS program. You can, any higher ed member in the US, research institutions, affiliates, federal affiliates, are also eligible for the program. So in addition to the contract itself, a large part of the value of the Net Plus AWS program is just all the work we get down and do together. So we have in the Net Plus AWS program biweekly tech share calls, and you can see just a sampling of the topics that we cover in those calls. So these are essentially open mic calls where people bring up any issues that are facing them, and it always leads to great discussions, whether it's something like a deep dive on compliance or just frustrations on hiring and how to get training to your staff. So in addition to the tech shares, we have quarterly town hall meetings. You can see on the screen some of the topics there. These are typically webinars delivered by someone from AWS, and oftentimes the topics are the byproduct of conversations coming out of the tech shares. Boy, we'd like to know more about, this, that, or the other thing. An example on here is the Research and Education Studio. So when that came out, there was some buzz and conversation in the tech share, and we held the town hall. Same with the strategy calls. We've had some great topics there. And then we have tech jams quarterly as well, which is a deeper dive on some technical topic where AWS brings in a consultant to help the one or two schools who want to be in the hot seat while the rest of us look over their shoulder and learn and ask our own questions. So these are the structure of the activities. There's 2 or 3 things going on each month. It's great for community building, and it really does help deepen your knowledge and your network of people who can help you on your cloud journey. We have a service advisory board, very active board with, we just had a re-up of the board members earlier this year, and the new chair is Matthew Rich from Northwestern University, but a great breadth of experience on the board, privates, publics, small, large, some not even universities on there as well, research institutions and administrative institutions. So next I'm going to shift to Net Plus GCP. So once again, the challenge of trying to describe an entire hyperscale cloud provider on one slide. I've chosen instead to just pick on 2 particular areas of focus right now. Everybody's chatting about AI right now, and I captured from Google this a bit about privacy in their enterprise AI tools. So if you're using consumer Google tools, it's possible that your data is training models. But if you're using any of the enterprise tools, Google does not use customer data to train those models. So privacy is really paramount in using those. And you can see the tools here covered by the enterprise umbrella. And then unsurprisingly, there's a lot going on the research side. I wanted to highlight 2 or 3 programs we all are aware of the issues around the growth of data in the research space. One thing, and that certainly has a price to it, particularly for organizations collecting a lot of research data. NOAA is one institution working with Google on a public data set. That's a way to offset the costs and make that data available to a broad range of researchers. High performance computing. Google Cloud has an HPC toolkit. They worked with Harvard Medical on a way to sequence massive amounts of data and to find a number of unique diseases and combinations of genome sequences that they've been using in their research at Harvard Medical. And then cross-institutional collaboration, there's that word. Anyone who's working in the biomedical space will be aware of the All of Us program through NIH and Terra.bio. Those are two programs that are hosted on Google Cloud, and where your researchers can go and take part in collaboration on those platforms. All right. So a quick overview about the Net plus GCP service. So one thing that's really unique about this is that there is a single negotiated agreement that provides flexibility through multiple resellers. And so you can work with a single partner or multiple partners. It's all the same contract. To give you an idea of what I mean here, so Google and Carahsoft work together to provide that sole contract, and there are multiple resellers that can provide for different institutions. So there are, I believe, currently 7 or 8 resellers on the program. If you have a favorite reseller, you can introduce them to the good folks at Carahsoft and get them added on the program. And so you can bring your own. When I was at Indiana, we leveraged 2 resellers at the same time because they had different areas of expertise. And the nice thing is we didn't have to go back and say, hey, we've got a contract for you to review, because that contract had already been reviewed. We just signed a new reseller service order with the second reseller. So that flexibility is built in. So here's some of the specific benefits. Again, folks like to focus on the percent discounts. That information is on there. But as I mentioned, there are other benefits in addition to that. One really unique benefit that the value of which can't be overstated on this program, is the liability terms in the agreement. So if you're familiar with how Google Cloud works technically, so if you've worked in Azure or AWS, you know that individuals can get accounts and they're either part of your organization or they are not. Whether it's a choice that you make to bring them in. In Google Cloud, generally all users, unless they're on a personal Gmail account, are going to be part of your organization. And so you end up in the research and education community often with a lot of users who are there just experimenting with Google Cloud. This is certainly the case in a university where sometimes upwards of 85% of your accounts might be student accounts where they've taken advantage of free credits and played with Google and then left it behind. Well, this agreement segregates out the liability for those types of accounts separate from those where it's actual university work being done. And that is a really valuable benefit of this program, to limit that liability to work being done for the institution. I also wanted to reiterate this value of having multiple resellers. The structure of this program makes it easy to issue competitive RFPs if that's a requirement for you. And you can even bring your own reseller should you wish. And then again, emphasizing on the eligibility, you do not need to be an Internet 2 member to participate in this. It is Internet 2 members by default, but any other research or education institution that's mutually agreed upon by Google and Internet 2, which covers a wide swath of pretty much all of the education institutions in the US, higher ed education institutions in the US, as well as a number of nonprofit research organizations. All right. Like in the AWS program, we have tech shares, town halls, strat calls. I'll leave this here for a moment so you can see what some of those topics are that we cover. A wide range of things that have been of particular interest to the active members of the community. All right. And we also have a service advisory board with GCP. Just 2, 3 weeks ago, we met in person at the Google offices in New York and had a great meeting with Google. And so these advisory boards serve not only um, as a sounding board for the service provider, but they are also there to listen to the community, their peers in the community, and provide feedback and prioritize requests to the cloud service provider. So they're kind of a two-way interface between the community and the service provider. All right. So I'm going to take a momentary pause here off screen for a moment because we're going to change tracks or change the pace of things momentarily here. This is, after all, a holiday. We would be remiss if we didn't celebrate that holiday in a special way. And so I'm going to change things up just a little bit. I appreciate your patience. All right. We are going to move on now to talk about the Cloud Infrastructure Community Program. If I can get my slides to advance. Come on. There we go. All right. In honor of the holiday, let's get a little Halloween on here. Talk about the Cloud Infrastructure Community Program. This is kind of the coming out party for CICP, and we'll talk about that. It is based on this community's superpower. So what is that superpower? It is our ability to collaborate, to work together. And you've seen in the previous presentations there on the community calls and the work that we do in Net Plus AWS and Net Plus GCP, how much work we do together. And instead of having those limited to just those in the subscriber program, we're looking to expand that. So our colleague Shlomo Ballas from Carnegie Mellon talks about how the collaboration with the community helps them get past the trial and error stage through the help of their colleagues. So it's a dedicated place for conversations around these two platforms, AWS and Google Cloud. And it's a place where we can pull in the ideas of the community and we focus those ideas together. And it's a place where we learn and grow together. So a lot of times in virtual meetings, I'm sure that's no shock to any of you, but it's a lot of sharing and a lot of great ideas that people bring to the table. And here's a great quote from Cornelia Professor McGonigal Bailey at University of Chicago. I love the part, how does one run a higher ed cloud enablement team and stay sane without being a part of this group? So it really brings a lot of value to those who participate. So the Cloud Infrastructure Community Program, it's a place for these peer discussions. It's a place for working groups where we focus on specific topics. We get the expert presentations. There's a training component, which I'll talk about in a moment, and the data benchmarking project as well, which is another example of how when we bring our collective experience together, it gives us all greater value. So hopefully many of you are familiar with the class program. In the CICP, participants in CICP will get annual vouchers that they can apply towards registrations for class programs, doing away with the time and hassle of trying to get payments and through either P cards or POs for classes. discounts overall on the charges for your participation in class. And of course, there's a wide variety of classes, and much like the meetings in CICP, the topics covered in these courses are in response to the needs of the community. We are also pooling the data of all the participants in the community to provide insights and trends on here's what's going on the community level. Here's what the most widely used services are. And we do that on a community level, and also we provide those to your institution to give you dashboards and insights into your own usage data so that you can track. It is not uncommon, I'm sure some of you might be surprised by this, but it's not uncommon for an institution not to have visibility into all the accounts in their entire portfolio. Sometimes there are even separate tenants run by different parts of the institution. We can give global insight for you on all of the usage at your institution. And we also, and I'm not going to go into it in detail here, but if you're familiar with the Cloud Elevation Index that was proposed by Penn State at this year's Cloud Forum, we have worked that in. That is basically a cloud maturity model. And we have worked into our reporting the ability to see the CEI of your individual accounts at your institution, but also your institution as a whole, to see how you're trending and how you fare compared to other institutions. The other benefit of this insight into this data is if you are looking to start a project in an area where you don't have experience, this will give you the ability to identify peers who have experience in those areas that you can then reach out to and learn from. All right, so cloud infrastructure community, it helps your institution, and this is an institutional subscription, if you will, but anyone in your institution is eligible, helps you accelerate cloud adoption, helps you master cloud technology faster, gives you a voice in influencing the cloud providers, and it helps you really expand your knowledge network. Many institutions have pretty small cloud teams, and so we look at this community as a cloud force multiplier. So you can grow, you may be a team of 2 or 3 people, but you have hundreds behind you who you can tap for greater knowledge, for their research, for code sharing, so much more. All right. So CICP is open to all, regardless of how or whether you contract cloud. So maybe you're still sitting on the sidelines with cloud, but you want to get in on the conversation and learn before you take the plunge. There's the eligibility language on the page there, and also some of our current and active subscribers there. Full disclosure, I was still putting these logos on an hour ago, and I finally said, there are too many, I can't put them all on there. But suffice it to say, there's already a number of people in this community. We invite you to come join us. And if you want more details about this, if you go to internet2.edu/CICP, that will take you to the program page. All right, for Q&A, I'm going to hand it off back to Jenna.
Okay, guys. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a plethora of speakers here and some of our partners that work at AWS, GCP, and Kion. So I'm going to give the chat and the Q&A a few more seconds before we promote the panelists to speak about what we already have in the Q&A.
I'm going to have to put my glasses back on to read the Q&A. So clearly the Phantom of the Opera or contact lenses.
Okay, well, our friends from our service providers are joining, I'm going to go ahead and start facilitating these questions. So our first one is for Net Plus Kion. And so I have Nidhi and Mez currently promoted. So Nidhi, Mez, how can a campus use Net Plus Kion in their regulated research environment?
Thank
This
you,
is
Jenna.
Bess here.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nidhi, first.
No. I was just going to mention that Mez would be taking that question. So go ahead, Mez.
Fantastic. For sure. I don't want to outshine Bob. I don't know if you guys can see my video, but I thought I might do a bit of a costume as well. So how does Kion approach? First of all, I'm a senior account executive here at Kion, just to make sure I introduce myself to everybody. I've been dedicated for higher ed now for the last couple of years. So if you think about it, we have about 8,000 different controls that we have organized in the various acronyms you can think about, whether it is a HIPAA requirement that you may have, CMMC requirement, could be NIST, all the variation, put them together in a very simple jumpstart kit that you can start applying to the workloads that are very specific and do require that regulatory requirement, right? And be able to not only set up either existing accounts or fresh accounts, and then maintain that through the life cycle of the account with an emphasis on remediation as well as reporting. So again, being able to address that, we understand that, think of CMMC 2.0 recently now with about, I think it's October 2025, it's going to be a requirement, right? So trying to help as many of the universities address those.
Thank you so much. Okay, our next one is for Net Plus GCP. And the question is, for Net Plus GCP, are campuses responsible for student usage?
Could you repeat that, Jen? I didn't hear the last part of that question. Sorry.
Absolutely, Chris. For Net Plus GCP, are campuses responsible for student usage?
It's an excellent question that Bob and the team and I have talked about for a long time. Because again, we recognize that we do make it convenient for students to sign up and use GCP. It has to do with the org itself and also in terms of how you're setting up and using those student users. So it's a description we'd love to talk, a situation we'd love to talk to you about directly amongst that process there. So it's a matter of if they're inside the enterprise GCP org or they're not, or kind of that process will look. So good question for us to kind of follow up with on a one-on-one conversation.
I would say that just putting on my hat as a GCP admin from before, the institution is responsible for, but not liable for, the student use. And by that, I mean, at one time we were contacted because a student had turned their GCP project into an attack bot, or it was hacked and turned into an attack bot, I don't know. But Google contacted us and said, would you please shut that down or we will? And we did. So we were responsible, but we were not liable. And that's part of the Net Plus terms that I highlighted before.
Excellent. Thank you. And our next one is for you, Bob. So stay on, get ready. For CICP, can I see what campuses I am comparing my cloud usage against? And I'll repeat that because I just read it pretty terrible. So for CICP, can I see what campuses I am comparing my cloud usage against?
So yes, although not in the interface, and I know at least a couple of my data benchmarking colleagues are on the call, so we can take a note of this. So for example, if you're looking at your GCP usage, the list of all the subscribers in the Net Plus GCP program is on the program page. So yes, you can see, it's not like a one-on-one comparison. It's like, here's the whole community. And we list what that community is on the web page. So that would be the comparison there. And the same on the AWS side. It does raise an interesting question though, that I'm gonna have to take back to the team as we start to add schools that are CICP only. who contribute their data to the project, their name will be listed on the CICP page, but not on either the AWS or GCP pages, even though their data may be in there. That's probably TMI, but that's something we'll have to figure out. I appreciate whoever asked that question.
Thanks, Bob. And I just want to give the panelists and any of the speakers an opportunity to talk about their program, something they wish people knew, maybe a frequently asked question that you get a lot, or just kudos to the community that you pioneer and champion with.
Well, let's do them in order.
Sure.
I think we have Jan on there first.
Yeah, Jan.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jan Day with Amazon Web Services. I'm our Higher Education Alliance and Community Manager. What I would like to leave the group here with is just one of our leadership principles is learn and be curious. And we believe that being curious and always being hungry to learn is a great way to fuel innovation. And at AWS, we're always looking to learn from our customers, learn about your needs and pain points, bring that back to our service teams, and constantly be innovating and iterating on the services to better support you, your students, your faculty, your staff, and your researchers. So if you have an idea or want to explore the art of the possible with cloud and the needs at your campus, reach out to your account manager. If you don't know who that is, let me or Bob know, and we can get you in touch with that individual. We're excited to work with you and help you on your cloud journey and help you meet your mission. So thank you so much.
Jan, that was inspirational. Yeah, that was impressive. Okay, we'll have Chris go next.
I don't like to follow Jan. That's one of my goals in life, is not to follow Jan, who I have deep respect for, by the way. We are competitors, but Jan and I have talked about this. We're also collaborative in the idea that, so along those lines, just what Jan said, kind of file save as, replace AWS with GCP. No, I'm kidding. One of the things that we're deeply focused in as well is creating outcomes across the life cycles of a student, a researcher, a staff. Those outcomes can be with AI, they can be about student journey, they could be about impact for math and different areas that people struggle with. So in kinship to what Jan mentioned, as well as we're deeply interested in partnering with our schools to find out what challenges need to be solved for and build technology around the challenge versus building technology for technology's sake, right? As I say to folks, there's no reason to do a project unless there's an outcome attached to it. So again, collaborative in nature and kind of creating outcomes across all higher education. I think the cloud is a fantastic technology set. AI is a challenge and also an opportunity. How do we tackle those things together? Also as well, if you don't know your Google Cloud or Google Workspace counterpart or folks that represent your school, please let Bob and I know. Same thing with Jan. A lot of things, there's 191,000 Googlers across the world. So sometimes just finding who to go work with on this conversation is a key thing that we can provide you value around. So thank you for the opportunity to be part of the program and for an opportunity to talk to you all today. I appreciate it. So there you
go. Okay, Mess, you saved the best for last.
I love it. It's great to be part of the company of, Google and AWS. The good thing that I think people hope I understand, I hope that they understand is that us within the Net Plus program, we work very closely with each other, right? So whether it is the services or the major CSPs, so at least at the end of the day, we're always trying to figure out ways to best serve this amazing community that naturally loves to share its success as well as its challenges. So really to be part of this or, Net Plus program and to see how within just a very short period of time, we went from just about 4 different institutions taking advantage of the Kion solution to about, going on 15 and more coming up very soon. It's a great testimony to this approach of making these solutions available in a way that's organized not just for the best pricing, but also the evaluation that happens in advance, right? Making it easier for people to understand that they're actually looking at products that have been well tested. So really appreciate the community, really appreciate the work that I2 has been doing to make sure that they help more people understand that what is it that we do out there and how we could help them. So super proud to be part of this community. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, Bob, Nidhi, any last words? We do have 2 slides left, everyone. But any last words so we wrap up this little section we're on?
No, I would just say that if you're doing cloud at your institution or thinking of doing cloud at your institution and you're not part of this community, the specifically the Net Plus community, CICP community, or the larger higher ed cloud community, get involved. If you're not sure how to do that, reach out. We have a great cloud track coming up at TechX in December. Some fun and informative cloud trainings the day before. So there's a lot going on.
Okay, let's head over to the next slide. Okay, guys, up next, we have our 7th session, November 7th. So Zoom, Lumen SIP, and ClearSpan. Please attend. It's going to be just as fun as this one. This one was so great, and I'm glad everyone could join us. But we have sessions until December 5th. So take a screenshot of this, take, something on your phone, or we'll just email you the slides like we said we were. So you can choose your battles here. And then we have one more slide. Thank you. Happy Halloween. Don't be afraid to get in touch with our wonderful program managers, Bob and Nidhi, if you do want to get involved with the cloud community. This event was super insightful and informative on what Net Plus has going on, as well as the broader higher education cloud community. So thank you all again for joining, and we'll hope to see you next Thursday. Bye, everyone. Thank you.